Hey guys, welcome back. It's me again, Ian, with more Audi TT Mk2 content. Now in this video, what we'll be looking at is replacing the door seals on the entrance. So these are the seals here. They are just a second-hand set, but they're a good set. You might notice that with your door seals, they might look a little bit chewed out and really rough looking. And I think this is a common issue in the Audi TT Mk2. So let's have a look and see how you can fix that. I'll go through a really detailed step-by-step guide, as you've seen with all my other videos. So we'll go and have a look at the car now and see what these seals can look like in their not so great state. Alrighty, so having a look at the door seal here on my driver's side. Let's just get that to focus. You can see the top edge, it actually looks pretty good. But the bottom edge is where mine is worn on the driver's side. So you can see it's kind of like open and doesn't look that great. I mean, it doesn't really affect the performance or sealing of anything. It just doesn't look awesome. We'll have a look at the passenger side now. See how this side looks. So again, we'll start at the top, which actually looks very good. Whoops. So you can see no issues there. But again, down the bottom, you can see here it is starting to wear a little bit. Come on camera, what are you doing? Yep, so along this bottom edge, this is where I guess the seal tends to wear out very quickly. Along the back edge, it's fine. And just having a look at the replacements here. Now these aren't brand new, but I'll pop the part number up on the screen and in the description for you guys in case you did want to grab them brand new. I got these from my parts car when I did the 3.6 swap, and they're in much better condition than the other ones. So I'll just pull them out and unravel them so you can see how they are in comparison to the ones that I've got in the car. Oops. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the edge that is on the outside making contact with the door, and just looking around that edge, trying not to get the shadow here. You can see it's pretty good, and there's not that wear on any of that surface. Having a look at the other one, that's the back of it. Not sure if this is the driver's side or the passenger side, but again, let's have a look at the edge here. Looks like that side is the side that goes up against that little glass panel window. You can see the condition is much better. There's a little bit of wear on this side, but you know, it's not looking as worse for wear as the other one that's already in the car. Let's get the focus. Alright, so how do we go about changing this? Alright, now before starting to pull the old seal off, just grab the tools. I have a feeling I'm going to need all of these pry tools here. I really like the OEM pry tool. It's nice and tough, and you know, the way that it's tapered in, it gets into the trim and under it, and it doesn't bend. Look how thick that is, so that's a really nice one to get. I'll put the part number up on the screen here as well. Is it on here? It's got 3409 on there, so I'm assuming that's the tool number, but if it's not, I'll put the proper tool number up on the screen. And of course I'm going to just have some Torx bits laying around because there's Torx everywhere on the Audis. So before moving the trim, what I'm going to do is remove the 3 pieces of trim. Key items to remove is, I'm pretty sure, are going to be the front kick panel, the front lower kick panel where the little latch is to pop the bonnet, and then the scuff trim panel, the panel that's next to that, And finally, there's going to be the rear trim panel where the seatbelt comes out of. That will also need removal. I don't think anything up here needs removing, which is going to be sort of really convenient. I had a look at the Alsawin instructions and it doesn't mention any of the ceiling trim panels to be removed, so hopefully that is the case. Sometimes the instructions do lie to you, and you know what you think is going to be a half-an-hour job ends up being half the day, which can be really annoying. Now, I've never done this before, so I'm going to really have to pay attention to what I'm removing and how it's all placed in there, just to make sure that when I'm putting the replacement seals back on, everything is going in perfectly and there's not going to be any issues when I'm closing the door or, you know, refitting everything. So there are very specific instructions from Alsawin in how to put these in, so I'll be following those. So I've already kind of done the first bit, where I've taken off the fuse cover panel here, and for some reason I just haven't replaced the lower kick panel since doing some rewiring and adding some extra functions to the car. So the next bit is to remove this scuff trim panel, which is pretty simple. Usually, well, I'm just going to pull it because I know it just comes out like that, so that's pretty easy. No need to really fuss about that one. The clips here are pretty strong, unlike the clips in a Mark 1. So that's all good. Let's see if I think that kind of like hooks into there in a special way. So I think the next bit is to get into the back here and remove the rear trim panel. Now, I don't think I'm going to have to fully remove it. I think just, you know, pushing it out the way will suffice to be able to remove the scuff trim panel and then start removing the damaged seal. Cool. So I'm just going to change the camera angle for you guys so you can have a good look and see what I'm doing. After a little bit of playing around, didn't know where to put you guys, you're inside the cabin now and looking at the rear side trim panel. I'm going to call this the B pillar. I guess it's not really a B pillar. But it is, I can see here that the seal does run under it, so I'm just going to pull this. Again, you kind of just have to go that way. I think I might need to remove the rear seat pad. That's still there, but okay, let's just see if I can do this without having to remove that. So again, it just kind of comes toward that way. To remove it. Oops. Alright, so now that that's kind of like moved off to far enough to get this guy out, you can see with this long trim piece here, I'll just show you that there's this like slot there. I think you can see that. Yep, there's a slot here. Where's the other slot? Then there's a slot further back where there are like little hooks that go into those slots to fix them into place. So that can go off to the side. Whoops. Here's my drink. And I'm pretty sure, no, because that kind of hooks. I don't know. I think that's going to be fine. Just going out that much, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there, and then I'll come bring you guys back around to my side so that you can see the way that I'm pulling the seal off from the door frame. Alright, come back out. Alright, so just so you guys can see what I've removed so far before I continue, there's usually a panel here that covers all this wiring. That's been taken off. Next bit, taken off that part. And then this is the rear door trim where the speakers hide behind. I've just kind of pulled that off that much. And you can see under there that, hold on. So you can see under there that the seal kind of hooks onto the edge, and I can see, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but the seal does stop here before it comes up to the glass, and it kind of just goes around. So next step, I'm pretty sure, is removing the door seal. So let me just zoom out for you guys and you can see how I'm going to take that off. So I'm just going to start, I don't know, I guess at this side, this corner here. So I'm just going to peel this back just to see how it's kind of put in there. And before I do the other side, what I think I'll do is I'll peel back all these little areas where there's finer detail to be seen that you can't see when it's zoomed out. Okay, so that's kind of like hooked into that I can see. Okay, just peel that away. So yeah, this side's terrible. Look at that. It's like fully open. Take that off. Go up. I'll just pull that back. So you can see that that's where this seal ends. So I don't think you really need to pull that whole door trim off, which is really good. I'm just kind of paying attention to how that's in there. Okay, so there's a little lip okay, cool. A little thing that needs to go into, like a groove. Okay, now the ceiling trim. Okay, so just got to make sure when putting it back, it goes all the way in. Ooh, I'm going to start on this side, I think, because do the instructions lie? How does that go in? Ooh, okay. I'm just taking this out, but I can see that I'm just going to place that back in. Okay. Alright, cool. That can just come out, I'm pretty sure. Cool. Never done this before, so it's really good to see that. I think if I wanted to run like antenna wire or anything to the rear of the car or any sort of wire, there's a nice big channel in there where wiring can run. It's super interesting. Oops. Okay. It was quicker than I thought. So there's the original one, which has the damage down the bottom taken out. Alright, reinstallation. Wish me luck. Hopefully it's not too bad on the reinstall. I've got the replacement one here. This little bit goes in the front. Okay, and that's up next to the glass. Lovely. Alright, so I'll show you guys this in much more detail on the passenger side, but there's like I can clearly see that this must go in there very specifically, because there's like a little bit that sticks out in the rubber seal, and also in instructions do say to start off at like these corners. So this corner here and the top corner here is where the also in instructions state to start with the reinstall. So I'm just going to line this up. Okay, so does that line up to that piece there? Nope, does not. So that goes up a little bit higher. Stick that in its little spot. And I'll start that. It's like that. Okay. Top left. Okay. Is that? push into there. Hook that in. Cool. And then work on the top edge. So that needs to slot. Oops. And I think what I'll do, so on this edge you've got like where the main roof trim joins into the C-pillar trim. I think I'll just get the rubber seal seated at that point. I'll just press it in. Alright, so you can see that that's kind of like doing these ones here, that lip is there, so I'm pretty sure that needs to tuck in when it's finally all pushed into place properly. Yeah. Cool. It's all just kind of like going in nicely, which is good. Okay, push all that in. I'll go to this bottom corner. This part's easy because you can see exactly where it needs to be pressed in. Push it all the way. Make sure that's all in. That kind of just started to fit itself in there in the end. Make sure everything looks good and neat. I can see that bit sticking out a little bit. And that's in its little home in there. Actually, so what I'll show you guys now is what I mean by this little part going into its home. And I think I'll also detail this edge here. It looks a little bit rough, but I think that's going to be super easy to fix. Alright, so I'm just going to show you this little piece in the rubber, which you can see right there. There's like a little, I don't know, bit that sticks out. And before I removed that, I could see that that is supposed to go inside. There's like another inner seal, I guess, and that little bit did live inside there, and I'll fix that up properly because I can't seem to get in there with the camera in the way, but that's how it's meant to be, right inside this seal. Now the other piece that I was talking about that kind of looks a bit funky now is up here. You can see that the edge is kind of folded in underneath the pillar trim. So yeah, you can kind of see here that the edge is sort of in a funky little spot. So all you need to really do is grab, you can use your finger, but for the sake of ease, I do like to grab like a pry tool and just run it along the edge, just like that. And that solves that issue. And then all along the other edges, it's kind of just a really nice fit. So it's not that hard really. Alright, so now the replacement seal is on. I am going to put the inner trims back in. So this one's nice and easy, just remembering that there are these slots here, yeah, where this rear trim panel needs to slot in perfectly, and it's kind of difficult to show you here, but when you do the job, you'll see how it all kind of slots in together nicely. Make sure that's in. Go. And again, with this here, get your finger or your pry tool and just make sure that the seal is on top of your trim. All right, goody goody. Well done. Looks a lot better now. Like, there is still that bit of damage there, but at least it's not all open and disgusting like the other one was. I don't think I'll change the other side actually, just because it's not damaged, but we'll have another look just in case. It was mainly this side, and I've got to replace this trim here. So old mate, you can go back. Hurry up. Wait, wrong button. Oh no, I forget about this. Idiot. Awesome. All right, so go ahead and remove that. I need a drink. It's hot. Don't worry guys, it's not vodka, it's just water. Alright, and I think with this one, I'm just gonna chuck it out, really. Not much I can do with that now. Never knew the window was pop riveted in, so try not to break that because that's going to be not so simple to replace. So guys, before I round up, just make sure that you're fitting the seals in the corners first, because as you can see up here where the glass is, that part, you do want this edge sitting flush right up against the glass. Otherwise, I guess that could be a point of water ingress. Another point here to make sure that you've got correct is that sort of like sits into its little groove, and finally the part here in the corner that sits into the groove there as well. I've shown you the up close version of that, and then with the seal, sorry, my tripod's gone a bit crazy. With the seal up the top here, you just want to make sure that that's all folded in and pushed in all the way, and that you can't see the edge of the roof trim and the C-pillar trim, because you do want to make sure that that lip here is covering that up. If you can see the trim edge, it just means that you haven't fitted the seal properly up the top in there. You might just have to like tuck it in underneath. So that's it. That's how you replace your door seals on your Audi TT Mk2 8J. To be honest, it really wasn't that bad. I thought the job was going to be a little bit more tedious than that, but it's quite straightforward. So just make sure that you're getting a door seal that's for a coupe or either a roadster. I'm pretty sure they're going to be different. Again, I'll pop those part numbers down in the description below, and I'll flash them up on the screen as well. If you do like my content, please remember to like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to bringing you more Audi TT Mk2 mods, fixes and upgrades. Until next time, see you later.